Guys, welcome to our final part in the networking series where we talk about how to improve the internet experience in your home. Now, if you're staying in a house, something like this, this sprawling neighborhood, which is very common here in Malaysia, the chances are you will never be satisfied with the way your internet works. And no matter how you try, you're bound to get into problems where there are parts of your home where the internet connection is bad. So how do you go about solving this? Now I want to introduce you to a particular networking product called Mesh. All right, Mesh is a technology. This technology has been around for somewhere between 4 and 5 years now. And in the early days, it was pretty expensive, and it was also predominantly done by boutique brands, not the brands that you're familiar with today. Brands like TP-Link, D-Link, and Linksys, Netgear, and all that. So all of those guys haven't actually launched anything with Mesh up until recently. Netgear was the first of the general brand of networking to launch Mesh to the public, and it was a product called the Orbi. That was subsequently followed by Linksys with the Velop, and then recently Asus launched the Lyra. Now, what is Mesh technology? Now, Mesh technology is the technology where you would be able to blanket or cover your whole home in a Wi-Fi web. And how it works is it allows independent base stations to talk to one another and decide actually which connection is best for you. I went to a house that is decently sized, and I have a walk around video just to show you how sprawling the house is. For those of you who have bigger homes, you of course will need more of these. Now, the traditional way you would expand your network would be to have one router, in the case of the router that Unify supplied, and then try to expand it with range extenders or power line adapters. And those solutions were spotty at best. Here we have some examples of a range extender, and it costs anywhere from less than $100 to between $100 to $200, and then all the way up to $300 to $400. And getting a high-end range extender may help in certain cases, but it won't if your house is really huge, like here where we talk about walking up 3 stories. Now, why is Mesh so expensive? Now, Mesh is expensive because each individual unit actually is very much like a full router and Wi-Fi access point with the given technology that they will talk to each other and allow, of course, your device, be it a mobile phone or a laptop or a tablet, to move around without the signal getting dropped. Now, I said about trying out each of these available. Netgear with their Orbi, Asus with the Lyra, and Linksys with the Velop. Now, these three have been around, and you can't get the Velop in Malaysia, but you can kind of go down south and cross the border, cross the straits, and buy it from Singapore. But all the software now that is needed to configure all these mesh systems are all apps, and they're quite simple. Basically, it walks through the process, and it takes a little over 3 to 5 minutes to get at least 2 of the base stations talking. So how is that different? The first part you will notice that will be different would be the fact that you only need one SSID. You will have to leave that decision on which network to connect to the router. So how does the mesh system work? I have a couple of examples here where the laptop is actually moving. Basically, I was streaming a 4K YouTube video as well as downloading a file as I move across the network. As you can see, the transition or the transmission speeds start to fluctuate up and down, and then it comes a point in time it almost disconnects, but it doesn't, and that's when the handover happens. Looking at the router design or the network system design, you will find that they don't look like your conventional routers, and conventional routers actually look like this. So most people tend to hide their routers because, you know, it kind of looks out of place. But looking at the Netgear Orbi and then the Linksys Velop as well as the Asus Lyra, they actually look very, very nice. So it doesn't look out of place in a home, much like some of these photos I've taken when I've installed the Asus Lyra in somebody's home to allow for it to be tested. Now, in terms of speed wise, Malaysia, you really don't have to worry. It has all the speed necessary to look after what your mesh is capable of doing. So you really don't have the issue where you can move from room to room and then be really frustrated with it dropping. So that's how it works. Now, for those of you who are living in homes like this, again, or in a neighborhood like this, you bear in mind that this is perhaps the best way for you to cover your home in Wi-Fi. Now, I hope this helps you. And if you have any more questions regarding wireless mesh, do pop it down below or drop me a tinker. Remember to subscribe, guys. I keep loading up interesting videos for you. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.